Under the new agreements between the European Union and the United States, Washington has introduced a base tariff rate of 15% on most goods imported from the EU, including automobiles, semiconductors, and pharmaceutical products. At the same time, a zero-for-zero tariff regime has been established for key strategic items such as civil aircraft and their components. U.S. President Donald Trump welcomed the deal, calling it the largest trade agreement in history and emphasizing its mutual benefits. "We have reached an agreement. This is a good deal for everyone." The European Union has committed to purchasing $750 billion worth of American goods and services and to investing an additional $600 billion in the U.S. economy. These are massive figures. In return, EU markets will be open to American exports without tariffs. This is just the beginning. The biggest deal in history. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen stressed that, despite difficult negotiations and necessary compromises, the agreement brings stability and predictability to bilateral economic relations and opens up new opportunities, particularly in the energy sector. According to her, Europe intends to increase imports of liquefied natural gas, LNG, from the United States to accelerate the reduction of its dependence on Russian energy resources. However, tariffs on steel and aluminum exports from the EU to the U.S. remain at 50%, a point of concern in Brussels and a contentious issue despite efforts to revise them. "The negotiations were challenging but ultimately productive," von der Leyen said. "We managed to defend Europe's key interests and lay a solid foundation for long-term cooperation. The deal covers a market of 450 million consumers and opens new prospects for European exporters and investors." Nevertheless, the agreement has been met with caution in the European Parliament, particularly in the Committee on International Trade. It has been described as unbalanced, with concerns raised about potential negative impacts on the EU economy. According to estimates by the Kiel Institute for the World Economy, the new tariff regime could reduce Germany's GDP by 0.15% and the overall EU GDP by 0.1%. The lack of progress on steel, aluminum, and initially discussed pharmaceuticals has caused concern within these industries. Nevertheless, most experts believe the agreement is acceptable for the European economy as a whole, especially considering that harsher scenarios, such as high tariffs on automobiles, have been avoided.